Okay, my name's Ivor and I've been flying model helicopters for about 20 odd years. Started with my grandfather, and this is the latest creation. It's a TRX 700 with an 800 boom. A Ren 44 gas turbine, runs on aviation kerosene, 5% oil, and it ticks over at 55 at idle and about 160 top end. It can go to 190,000 RPM, developing 7 horsepower, so it's quite a bit of horsepower. Okay, right, we've got a voltage regulator here. The main frame is a 700 TRX running S-bus servos, high voltage, 7.4 volts. And we've got the ECU, which I don't know whether you can see it or not, but it's tucked in underneath here. That's the brains of the turbine that controls the fuel delivery and your speed, or your governor if you like. Running Futaba, as I said, at T18SX. 7.4 volt batteries on the back cradle, which is an aligned part that sits there, balances it pretty well. You can't see it from here, but we've got a fuel pump on this side through the filters. We also have the header tanks. That's a sort of a backup because it runs 10 minutes of fuel, 600 milliamps, millilitres, so it runs quite a bit of fuel. So we have got a base plate here. You can see a cradle for the motor. It's a CNC aluminium base plate to give it more strength across the base of the frame so you don't get twist. And the exhaust sit out above that with clearance, and of course you've got 500 degrees C exhaust, gas out the exhaust both sides. So, and that's the starter for the turbine that winds it up and fires it at about 20,000, and then the ECU flames it and takes over, so it's a twin stage. I don't know whether you can see the gearbox. It's an OS90 configuration with a clutch, so the gearbox is pressure lubed with this line here on the bearings, so it's a 2-stage turbine. The main turbine here, the second stage on the exhaust side there. So that's how that runs. All self-start, cool down program, the whole lot's in the ECU. So you can see the fuel pump there. That brings it up to roughly about 20 psi max. It's a magnetic coupled pump, so there's no mechanical drive between the gear set, which is on the end of that pump. And the main filter's there. So, and then of course you've got the supply into the turbine and the lube as well. And for safety precaution, we've got an isolation tap here, so we can actually isolate that. And if it comes to it, we can get a stick, bring it out under while the blades are rotating and reach that and turn that off, and that will kill the thing. That's the last thing to kill it. So that's basically the whole thing. And as I said, it develops 7 horsepower, so that's more than enough power. So running through the mechanics, and it's just standard 700 helical cut main gear to give it good contact from the pinion. And it's running a Demon fly barless control unit, which controls the whole head automatically. So it keeps it self-centered, so it works very well actually.
Warning, rotation 0 RPM.
Right, we've got ignition.
Warning,
That'll spool up to 55,000 and then I get it on the radio.
rotation 0.
So I'll let it just come up.
Warning, rotation 0 RPM. Warning, rotation 0 RPM.
So that'll come up to about 55,000 and just sit there and idle, ready to go. All right. load because you're in balance.
Yeah.
Coming back from 160 on the engine.
Okay.
1,250 on the head. So that goes into cool down mode now. Right, that brings it down to about 100 C. And just spin the air through it.